Stop worrying about your competition. Hey, this is Donnie Bovine. I'm the CEO and founder of Success Champions Networking and author of Endless Stream of Referrals. This is Growth Mode, a podcast all around growing and scaling your business where we talk sales, business development, growth, and scaling. Hanging out with me as always, my buddy Kevin Snow, the sales and automation tactician and genius. And in this episode, man, we are going to jump into why the hell you need to quit worrying about your damn competition and just go bigger. All right, Kevin, where the hell are we starting off with this one?
So I have a client and they consistently, like on almost like every other day, is a regular occurrence, send me their competition's marketing content.
Why?
Here's what so-and-so is saying. Here's what such and such is doing. Here's another company's product and services slides. I'm like, stop sending me this. They're struggling with coming up with what their actual product and services and figuring out what their identity is. So they're spending all this time looking at what everyone else is doing instead of looking at what their actual clients are doing. And it drives me nuts. And every time they send it, I'm like, I don't care. That is literally what I reply back. I don't care what they're doing. So I think it's really important to understand you need to be aware of your competition's positioning. You need to understand how they're talking about themselves and how they're going to market. But it should not be a driver for how you do business.
I agree with that. I don't know. Maybe I'm extreme when it comes to competition. I don't know. But I just don't give a shit about the competition, what they do, who they are. Like literally, Kevin, you and I could be selling the same exact person, the same exact services. Like we could be selling both people a shovel. I don't know. And, odds are same price, same shovel, same service, same thing, everything else. It's going to come down to whether they like me better than you or whether they like you better than me or who has a better relationship. And either way, it doesn't matter. There's so much business in this arena. There's so much business in the world. Now, to your point, to have an understanding of what the competition's doing in the marketplace, cool. I like to know sometimes how I sold against them. I mean, probably the most competitive thing that I was in was commercial printing. And, it was ink on paper. There was the same machines, same ink, same paper. And we were all saying the same shit. We were like, well, you could have sustainable paper with sustainable ink. And it's a 8-color press that could, be out in so many. And everybody was saying the same shit, right? Everybody was marketing. Well, my company didn't believe in marketing, so that's why they just kept adding salespeople. And I think at one point, we had salespeople doubled up at one desk because they just kept hiring salespeople instead of spending money on marketing, which was always funny to me. But yeah, I've never understood the competition things, but I've been on the receiving end of other companies worried about me, which was always fascinating to me. Like I had another guy at another print shop that would ask me if I would quit going after his clients because he was losing every time I came in. And I said, well, one, I don't really know who your clients are. But if you want to give me a list, I'll make sure to take the rest of them. But which he didn't like very much. But, I don't know, man. For me, competition should be fun. It should be a challenge. It should be a game. It shouldn't be something you worry about.
Yeah, it's in my viewpoint, I want to know what they're saying and I want to know how they're positioning themselves so I can do it different.
I like that.
But I don't want it to drive how I develop and and improve my product or services. I don't want my product and services to look like everyone else. I don't want to be the same as every other company in my industry. And because that's what you have right now. If you look at any of the ads and for what I do, the digital marketing, email marketing, sales automation stuff that pop up on Facebook, and go look at their websites, they all look the same. They all talk about the same stuff. They're cookie cutter copies of each other, and with like some color changes.
Right.
It's literally what it is. And that's not how I want to do my business. And that's not how business should be done. It's really, if you're going to be a business owner, you want to be able to focus on what you're best at and how you can best serve your clients and build around that and figure out the language that resonates most with the people you want to work with, and then fly with it. I want to know what my competition's doing in the event that they're adjusting to be competitive with me.
Dude, I think about how we built, Success Champion Networking's website and whatnot. And, I just think of everybody who sees themselves as competitor to Success Champion Networking. They would never in a million years put the slogan we have at the top of the website on their stuff, nope. Right? We just don't give a shit. I think if you haven't seen it, guys, the Success Champion Networking website says you can't do epic shit surrounded by basic people. And we did this purposely because we wanted our people to show up. I don't want the people that are fucking excited about all the other organizations and everything. They can go play there all they want to. But we want the unique, badass individuals that just get that there's a higher level of networking. So I'm not concerned what other organizations are going to doing. I want to speak to my people. And
yep.
Our people have a freaking edge to them. They are a higher tiered individual that's just going bigger in life. And that's who I want to attract and talk to. And if I spent time looking at my competitors' websites and looking at my competitors' freaking marketing material, it's going to tone down the voice of our overall brand, which is something I never want to do. I like having the fuck you style brand, that give me the people with, tattoos and an edge to them and don't live by the normal rules. I want those people in our freaking world. And this really helps us build it out. I don't want the suit tie wearing generic Adobe freaking Photoshop images you can get, all over the sites and stuff. I don't want to say the same things that they're saying. I want them to be looking at us because we're going so damn loud and we're changing the game so much. So I think if you're looking at your competition stuff and thinking, damn, I should be doing that, dude, that's a reflection of your own internal monologue. That's the shit you're freaking telling yourself, not a reflection of the direction you need to be going with your company. Because if you know your audience, you know your services, you know your product, you know what you're delivering, go deliver, go sell it, go put it in the marketplace, and it ain't gonna freaking matter. I mean, Kevin, I'm really curious. Do they expect you to go, oh my God, thank you for sending me this. Let me change everything we're doing and create this to fuck out? I mean, I don't get it.
I don't know, and that's probably a question I should ask them. It's like, why do you keep sending me this? What are you actually expecting? But I'm like, I see it, I roll my eyes, and then I'm like, okay, whatever, and then I go on with my day, and I literally ignore it, which probably isn't good. You shouldn't ignore your clients, but sometimes it's the best way to deal with them.
Even to that point really quick, I mean, sometimes clients can just be irrational. And I've found that if you just don't acknowledge their irrational moment, sometimes it just passes. So,
yep.
It's just easier to go on. Is that why you ignore a lot of my shit?
No, but we don't have time to go into those answers. So let's just keep moving on.
Too funny.
But I think this is a big issue for a lot of companies and a lot of especially entrepreneurs when they're starting out, because they're trying to figure out who they actually are and what they are doing, what they're going to be when they grow up. You know, one of our members changes what they do and what their focus is pretty much every time we talk to
Yeah.
them. And I think a lot of times when you're in that state of mind, and you're trying to find yourself, you're looking at what everyone else is doing in your space and trying to almost pick and choose the bits and pieces that you like to make yourself in that um, reflection, in that vein of everything else that's going on, instead of just looking in the mirror and saying, wow, all right, here's who I am and here's what we're going to be.
Yeah, I mean, they literally, every time somebody says they do something, they were like, oh my God, I could do that. I've been doing that for the last 25 years. And honestly, I can tell you, nobody knows what the fuck they do, right? Nobody knows what their business is. Nobody knows what their service is, and it's because they're so wanting, I think, somebody to go, oh my God, where have you been my entire life? You know, and I think if people will start looking as their business as the leader in the industry, I mean, think about picturing your business as the business everybody's gunning for. Because your shit's on such a lockdown, your shit's so put together that everybody is gunning for you. I think that's a brilliant way to look at it, because now you're setting the standard that everybody else is trying to come to. And I think most people can't wrap their head around that they are setting the standard by being as badass as they are in business. They're literally have set the bar for everybody else to climb up to. And I think if you get to that mentality, you really start turning off what the competition does. I mean, I don't know if you have, Kevin, but I've been in sales situations where the competition sat in the lobby with me, and then we went in, one
I've
on one.
I've been in sales calls with clients when I was doing the long distance thing, and we're trying to resolve things for issue where the competition was in the room.
Oh, that's all. I haven't
Was
done it with them in
literally
the
at the
room. I've
table.
done
Be-
all of a sudden in the lobby.
because it was long distance. So we had the long distance carrier, we had the local carrier, we had the equipment people, all of us which sold each other's services and didn't like each other, all in the room trying to fix a client's phones that weren't working the way they're supposed to. And it's only happened to me that one time, but it was weird.
I can imagine. I'm just thinking, because you put two strong personalities that can sell, you're going to constantly be in that room in that moment going, well, the reason it doesn't work is because that's not working. Right.
That was exactly what was going on. The equipment people were pointing at us. We were pointing at the local carrier. The local carrier was saying it's not us, it's an equipment issue. And the poor client was just like, it was like watching ping pong or tennis. Like who's going to throw the next shade at the and who are they going to throw it at? So it was horrible.
You know what this reminds me of is I sat on a board for an association in Fort Worth, and they were deciding who was going to rebuild out the website. And the last person that built it was a well-known member in the association. And then there was a third party that we had brought to the table that really is specialized in websites for associations. And for the board, to make a board decision, both these people had to come in and pitch. And the funny thing that I'll never forget was the guy who was a member came in and his pitch was, you know me, I'm a member. I've always been here. I can't believe you brought in outside competition when I'm right here. He was pissed that we brought in competition in a moment when he could have been a rock star and done something amazing. He picked a fight. Dude, that competition came in. They're like, so Let me guess. You guys struggle with finding new members. You struggle communicating with your members. You struggle getting your main priority, high targeted members to events and showing up. You want to showcase different members. And they were like literally nailing off everything that we wanted in a website, because all they did was specialize in association websites. And the member, you could see him, he was getting purple. So he was getting so mad that we were listening to this other company that we had no choice to even think about the member. We had to go with the association website. When you get that pissed off over competition, you're going to lose. All that guy had to do is say, might be fun if we partner up with this association website, guys. I could learn some things. Or it might say, guys, here's where we're at in the past. Where do you guys see the shortcomings that made you want to bring somebody else in? Let's work on that and upgrade. I mean, he could have had such a more high level, confident, conversation with us, but he was so pissed that we brought in competition that he just lost his shit. And
yeah, it was a total sense of entitlement.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the member, you have to do business
Totally.
with me. Well, no, we don't. Our job as the board
wait, I
is
think you
to
just
do things
described
that
most of the
benefit you.
world right now.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Holy shit. Let's not get us down that fucking rabbit hole. But I think that at the end of the day, man, play your game. Quit worrying about what other people are doing. I mean, Kevin and I all the time will go look at other people's websites to see how they're putting messages out there. And there's a couple of times I'm like, fuck, man, that guy's doing it really damn well. I really like how he laid that shit out. How could we do that stuff in our world but do it better? Right? How could we really set it up so, that dude's stuff looks like shit? And then I looked at a guy's, site the other day, and it's a guy that I'm getting to know. I don't know a whole lot, but he does retreats and shit. And I went to look at his site because I know he had just signed up to do a new website and some new automation stuff. And I looked at his site and I started laughing because his site was shit. It was really, really, really bad. And I thought, fuck, man, we so never, ever would I want to go work with an individual that can't show up properly. It's funny to me sometimes how I get inspired by looking at competitors just because we look so much fucking better out there. Yeah. So what do you tell your clients and customers, Kevin, that come to you and they're like, man, competition's just so much better than we are? I mean, how do you fix that?
I don't think I've ever had a client say that. No one's ever said in comments said the competition's so much better than us. They've come to me and shown what the client's doing and saying and said, we're better than them. Why don't we look like this? And then, then we have the conversation about what needs to be done and how I can help. But, I've never had anyone say, well, the competition's better. And I've always, for me, if anyone came to say that, I would, first I would refrain from smacking them because that is just like the dumbest thing you can ever say. Oh my God, they're so much better than me. If then change your career,
right?
Just go do something else. But they're not better; they're different.
Right.
Your competition isn't better or worse than you. Well, some of them might be worse than you, but the thing is, they're all different. They should not be the exact same as you. If they are, then why? Then what value are you bringing to the marketplace? You need to look at it that way. They're different. Here's who we are. And like you said, how do we present ourselves to the world in the best way to highlight these differences?
For sure.
And and I've had multiple people come to me who are in the industry and that were drawn because of how I did the website and how I presented myself, completely different than other people that do email automation and marketing automation. It's something they hadn't seen before, and it's all figuring out how you can be unique in your messaging that helps people resonate with you as the person. We've done episodes in the past, and I can't remember which one, about being the face of your company and, brand strategy and how you build that whole concept. And that's really what these conversations are. You need to be loud with who you are and not worry about what the competition is saying and how they're building their messaging in the marketplace. You need to be worried about how yours is being received and if it's resonating with the right people.
Agreed. Oh, typically at this point, we have a question from the members of Success Champions, but like we find sometimes, we throw up a topic that they don't want to freaking come play with. So we don't have a question from the champions this week. But if you guys are listening to this and you've got a question or a thought about any of the episodes we did, we'd love to hear from you. Feel free to send an email off to support@successchampionnetworking.com and tell us an episode you'd love for us to cover. We'd love to cover that for you. Action step this week: quit worrying about the fucking competition. Freaking do you. Build your business, build your brand, figure out how you change your mindset to you are the industry leader. You're the number one company in the system and people are gunning for you. That's a great way of looking at it. When you're the best, everybody wants to be like you. So position yourself that way. And as always, guys, if you get any value out of this episode and show, do us a favor, make sure you are subscribed and share this with one person. That's all we ask for, guys. Just share it out for one person. Love you, mean it. See you, bye.